Hi, thanks for joining us again. This is Meredith Nagel with Meredith Nagel PA. Today I have a dear friend and an esteemed developer in our community, Mark Graff of Mark Graff Development and Sylvan Learning Center. He's allowed us to film this here today in this colorful surroundings, so if you need any help with educational support, give him a call. But today, Mark, I want to talk to you about what's happening in South Lake County. Specifically, I want to talk about what you saw happening in 2006, 7, 8 that now in your hindsight gives you some idea of why the crash happened and kind of what your thought about that is.
In fall of 2006, residential housing was dead. There were lots of blank lots that were built. There were neighborhoods with street lights and power to the lots, and nobody was purchasing them. So at that time, we made a conscious decision to hurry up and get our commercial projects done because we believed that commercial was lagging the residential or the rooftops by a year and a half or so. So we offloaded some projects, we hurried up and got some projects done, and then we rode it out for a while.
So you talk about having empty neighborhoods. Residential sales were still at a good pace back then. Do you think that was mostly resales, or we just had more inventory than could possibly be sold?
Well, what I guess I was using as my barometer weren't the sales independently to a family, but it was the purchase of properties from national builders and regional builders. And their inventory was way up, and they had shut the spigot off by the fall of 6 because they saw things slowing. Okay. So they stopped acquiring properties, and at the time we had just tied up what is Waterside Point today with Ryland Homes.
Mm-hmm. So at that time you were doing primarily commercial development or some of the larger scale residential like the Water Point? What was the mix for you then?
We were doing primarily commercial, but we had done a couple of large tracts to residential builders.
But then you found that those weren't, there was nobody going to buy anymore, at least the residential stuff.
No, and we had a lot of discussions because at the time my partner was very interested in acquiring big chunks of land because they were values. In late 6, early 7, we found some real values out there, but there was no one to sell them to because again the big residential builders had inventory of land and blank lots and finished lots.
So everybody's excited right now in South Lake County. It's been bubbling for a while. Tell me what you're seeing now. Anything like what you saw before?
Well, we've had a great run, and it's been a long run. And it's tough to build anything right now because the cost of materials are high, the cost of labor is high, which yields an end product that is expensive. So it's starting to feel a little like it did last time. When you look at the world economy and our situation with China, you look at the volatility of the market, there are a lot of signs out there that say we should keep a watchful eye.
Oh, so if you were talking to a friend in a bar who wasn't a fancy developer like you, just an average guy.
Fancy developer, really?
Well, I mean, compared to the average guy who just owns a home and works at Disney or something that doesn't know anything about the things you're talking about, what advice would you give them about whether they should be selling, standing pat, moving out of the area, staying in the area? What would you say?
I don't have a crystal ball, so I wouldn't be very good at giving advice. But if they were looking to sell, it's probably a good time to sell. The properties are at a value that we haven't seen in years. I don't think there's a lot more upside in that. But if you're selling and you're going to buy again, you're going to pay the higher dollar. This would be it's probably a great time for somebody that's going to downsize because they would maximize their return on the bigger property, and they'd be buying a less expensive property. Although it may be a higher market, you're buying a less expensive property in that market, so you'd end up best if you're downsizing at this point.
All right. There was some good advice, though. I know that a lot of people are wondering, they're waiting, thinking it's going to go higher, it's going to go higher. It feels to me like we're almost maxed out, and now I'm hearing that same thing from you.
I would concur. It's a time to proceed cautiously, minimally.
Okay, so tell us a little about Sylvan Learning Center. We're in this great space. It's colorful and happy. Looks like a lot of smart kids are here.
Yeah, we love Sylvan. Done a lot of different things over a lot of years. And Sylvan is the thing I'm proudest of. We change children's lives, we really do. We've been in the business now for 12 years. We opened it in 2007, and we survived and actually thrived during the downturn. We really enjoy our partnership with Lake County Schools and all the families in Lake County.
Good. Well, if somebody wants some information about Sylvan, tell them how they get in touch with you.
352-241-4141. Real easy number, 352-241-4141. We are here to serve.
So here's a plug that you weren't expecting, Mark. I don't know if you know this, but my oldest son just started law school this week with a full scholarship. And I have often told Kathy that a lot of that started here because he was a smart kid with great grades and really struggling on his testing. He just wasn't a good tester. And because of his time here with Sylvan, he was able to do well enough to get a college scholarship and on from there. So I can say from personal experience, it's great. So thank you guys. If you have any questions of me, I love to talk real estate. I love to talk anything having to do with real property. Any questions you have, any problems you have, give me a call at 352-394-7408, or you can visit my website at mnagellaw.com. Thanks.